control. Do it all to get them off their feet. Crowd is here, about to blow. Waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up above. Whoa! My father said, when I was younger, one, two, three, seven, eight. Took it all away. Hey guys. Hey guys, welcome to the new post-episode talk show that I'm going to call The Kingdom. And every premiere episode, we're going to do one of these post shows and get your thoughts on the episode. I kind of want your guys' opinions on who you guys want me to voice during these things. Tonight, I'm going to have Twilight and Shadow. We're going to go ahead and break down this episode. So without any wasting of time, let's just dive right into it. So after a 3-month hiatus, we last saw Sonic and Knuckles with the urging of Princess Luna / Nightmare Moon to release Dark Swirl from her Chaos Emerald. And Sonic, thinking he can beat her, decided to go along with this plan. And we last saw Sonic get decimated, as did Knuckles, and Nightmare Moon Princess Luna turns into Nightmare Moon, and they steal the element of magic. So let's dive right into this. So as we come back 3 months later, we start the episode, and Sonic is dead. We find out that he died. So everybody's in a frantic tizzy. We see Rainbow Dash and Shadow arrive first, and basically Shadow just goes ballistic. Like, why? Well, better yet, yes, I did go ballistic because Sonic is a moron, as is Knuckles, for believing in Princess Luna's plan. They should have listened to Twilight's and Celestia's warnings, but they didn't. They never do. Of course, Knuckles never listens to Celestia anyway. Does his own thing all the time. Yes, we're being joined by Shadow and Twilight apparently already. I was going to wait a little longer, but I can't really, I got mad at Sonic, but I can't really blame him. I mean, I've done the same thing time and time again. I mean, and just look with the Pony of Shadows. I released the Pillars of Old Equestria, and by doing so, I released the Pony of Shadows. So, yeah, I know. Nicole types in Rarity. Oh my God, Rarity and Silver. I know. Yeah, they're officially done. Mainly because I had some requests. People wanted to see Blaze and Silver get together. And at first, I wasn't sure on how I was going to be able to bring Blaze into the series. But when I went back, I started doing some research on it. And then just reading about those soul emeralds and how she was a princess of them and whatnot, I rolled with that because from what I read, the soul emeralds are capable of ripping open time portals. They're capable of you're able to rip open portals into different dimensions and time and whatnot. So I was like, oh, this is perfect. She can go back to Sonic's time and try to find Silver, and then realize, oh my God, Mobius is gone. It's only a matter of time before the space-time continuum, destroys my Mobius 200 years in the future. So she basically, that's when she decided to use her magic and use whatever ability she had to try to track Silver down. And she was able to do that. And that's how she wound up going to Equestria. But yeah, I'm not sure. See, there's this whole thing now with Rarity, because my debate now is not so much what Silver's going to do. I know Silver's going to wind up ablaze, but it's like Rarity. Now we're going to see that Spike's gonna have some issues with Sweetie Belle, and I'm kind of like, do I put Spike back with Rarity? Do I give them a second chance, or do I put Rarity with Capper? That is the big debate. Um, I don't. I haven't really decided yet. I'm kind of on the fence for both. I think all of our inner fan, all of our ML, all of our inner bronies want to see Spike and Rarity back together, but um, I don't know. There's something about Capper and Rarity that's intriguing to me. I don't know what it is, but they had some chemistry in the movie, and I was actually kind of shocked that Capper didn't get a cameo during the last 2 seasons of MLP. I was kind of shocked that they couldn't get Tay Diggs to come back and voice an episode or two. I always saw potential at Rarity and Capper, and I just thought that yet was yet another missed opportunity at a ship that they could have had with MLP. Yeah, that was my Bluetooth turning off. So basically, yeah, I'm leaning toward Capper myself just because I still don't know if I'm going to have Spike and Sweetie Belle break up. The concept when I first started Spike and Sweetie Belle, I thought, oh my God, they're a really cute couple. Like they're compatible. But again, it's like I haven't been able to really write them together in an episode for a while because of everything that's going on. They really haven't had time to, build their relationship. So, um, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with those two, but it does leave possibility open for Rarity to, move on. Obviously, she's going to probably move on slowly, I think. I don't think she's just going to go jump back into a relationship. And again, as we saw in this episode, all of the elements of harmony are now being corrupted somewhat um, by the element of dark magic. We saw Fluttershy, Angel Bunny kind of sensed some evil things happening with the element of kindness. So he brought the element of kindness to Fluttershy to kind of show her, hey, look, there's some evil. I sense some evil things coming out of this thing. And then they noticed that her gem was turning black. And so, yeah, I mean, everybody's, all the main six right now are kind of going through tense moments. We saw it with Applejack at the end of the episode with Knuckles. They're all kind of like lashing out in anger, all of the main six. Rainbow Dash, Rarity is more just sad. We didn't see Pinkie Pie this episode. In hindsight, I was like, I should have added Pinkie Pie and Manic because they were there too, but I didn't. First, I'm sorry, guys. I have a hard time, adding Pinkie Pie sometimes just because she's not the drama type of pony. So it's kind of hard throwing her in to some of these situations. And she's not a background character, but she's not like the main three of the main six that deal with a lot of the problems, like your Applejack and Twilight and Rainbow Dash. Let's see. Fluttershy really wasn't too affected by it yet. I do have a concept as to where I'm going with that aspect of the storyline. My big debate was, are they all gonna turn in their elements to Twilight, and so they can put it with the Tree of Harmony to try to reverse the evil spell that's on them? But we'll have to see in the upcoming episodes. So diving back into it, so then Blaze and Silver arrive, and they were getting ready to use the Chaos Emeralds to revive Sonic, and basically Blaze says, look, you don't need the elements, you don't need the Chaos Emeralds. I can try to revive him because I absorbed the Soul Emeralds. So essentially I can revive him as long as his brain isn't, because the brain does function for 8 minutes after death. So if his brain is still functioning, there's a chance I can bring him back. Well, there's the problem right there, because Sonic doesn't have much of a brain. So I'm kind of shocked he lasted 8 minutes, to be honest with you. Shadow. What is true, Twilight? He doesn't think about things. He just jumps into them, and he constantly does this. Constantly. Even on Mobius. Who wants to rush into a fight with me? Come on. Elijah Dodorich asks, Twilight, do you think Sonic would have stood a better chance if you had given him more power? Good question. It's oh, I mean, it's possible, but the only reason why he does have his own natural alicorn ability. So the whole reason that I gave him just half of my powers is only so he can use the element of magic. I secretly kept the other half just in case anything were to happen to Sonic, like in a battle. Then I could reluctantly take over, and use the Harmony Chaos Cannon. Um, the whole reason why that we're being cautious about me using is because I don't want to lose the baby. So that's why I gave at least half my powers to Sonic. Yeah, Nicola agrees. Yes, Sonic doesn't think. Yeah, how often, if you watched Sonic X or really any of the Sonic series, cartoon series in the past, the Sonic just always rushes into things. Just he doesn't. He just goes, and we saw in the mid-season finale, like even Shadow warned him, like something is off with Princess Luna. Like something is not right with Princess Luna. I sense something off there, so maybe I should join you. And Sonic, of course, was like, no, because Luna didn't ask for you, and I don't want to draw suspicion and whatnot. So, yes, I got to keep drinking stuff. I'm sorry I lost my voice for like part of that episode. Over the like this week, I don't know why I lost my voice. I do a lot of yelling at work, and so like I'm like yelling across the warehouse at people, like, "Oh, I'll be right there." So I wound up losing my voice, and yeah, it was hard voicing like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And by Wednesday, I was like frantically trying to get this done. Oh, that's very true, Elijah. Sonic's mind, he does act first and ask questions later. Well, I guess that's, when you're dealing with Eggman and him kidnapping people and roboticizing people, you kind of have to just go off whim. So Blaze was successful in bringing Sonic back to life. And then, of course, Princess Celestia, Twilight, and who was with a Discord show up, and they were kind of hovering over the battlefield, and they witnessed Blaze reviving him. To say Celestia was unhappy is an understatement. I saw a comment pop up during the live chat, like somebody was like, "Oh my god, excuse me, oh my god, Celestia just totally went off on him." Yeah, she was pretty PO'd, and I enjoyed voicing that whole sequence there. That whole sequence was just emotional and intense, and really a lot of this episode was just intense and emotional. And writing the ending of this episode, I had to really go into a dark place to write it and come up with some of that stuff. Nicole asks, will Eggman be in the series at some point? Just asking. It's okay if you can't answer. Yes, he will be in the series at some point. Perhaps sooner than we realized. Perhaps sooner. I had him, he's still 2 years away in travel time because he doesn't have his light speed travel. So that was damaged during the Meta-Rex battle. But he has Boku and Deku working on it. So we'll see. We'll see if he makes an earlier appearance. I'm toying with that notion. Actually, I'm kind of glad you asked that, Nicole. I am toying with that notion of Eggman coming sooner. Not that because I don't have any other storylines planned. I kind of, thanks to Speedstar, I kind of love voicing Eggman. So I really want to voice him soon. So yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to having him on my series sooner rather than later. So we'll see. The only drawback or the only hesitation I have about bringing Eggman on is it interfering with some of the other things I had planned. Yes, you're very Sonic Plush comments. Same. I like voicing Infinite. Your Infinite is awesome. I I like the old one. I don't know if I heard the new one yet. I don't think I've heard your new Infinite voice yet, but the old one was awesome. So yeah, I'm still excited and looking forward to getting back to working with Speedstar on his sprite animation. Sonic. Oh God. Oh, I forget what it's called. Oh my God. Help me. But Speedstar series, yeah, I'm really excited. I really hope we get back into that pretty soon because I miss voicing for his series. His series is amazing. So we come out of the opening credits and we see, oh yes, thank you, Sonic X Equestria. That's right. There are so many Sonic MLP crossovers that I watch or that I'm in. Will Atkinson is actually going to restart his Sonic and Shadow and Equestria series next month. I know we start voicing. I know we start voicing for that next in April. I don't know if he's releasing an episode in April. He just had a video come out this past week that updated all of his fans, and I know we're voicing for sure come April for Will Atkinson's Sonic and Shadow and Equestria. I don't know if you guys. I don't know how many of you have seen that series, but that's a really good series too. That's the original Sonic MLP crossover series. And that he had that out well before I had Harmony and Chaos out. So yeah, our series are very different in a sense of where we go with our storylines. I get more into emotional and more into like everyday life, whereas he just has a lot of conflict and stuff like that. But nevertheless, it is a fantastic series, and I can't wait to voice in that one. For the characters I'm doing for sure in that series are Sonic and Spike. For sure. Those are the two voices that I'm doing. We had two comments come in. Elijah says, I always head back to episode 2 on that. And I'm assuming you're talking about Will series. And then Sonic Plush. This just came to me, but how cool would it be if I made a Harmony and Chaos Plush series? Well, that would be cool. You know, I'm like lately I've been toying with the notion of starting a Gotcha Life series. I know. My daughter Allie has got me big time into Gotcha Life. And I was like, do I'm toying with the notion of maybe starting Harmony and Chaos in a Gotcha Life series. But then I thought about it, I was like, nah, if anything, I'd like to do something more original if I was going to do a Gotcha Life series. I'm also thinking of doing Miraculous. I don't know if how many of you guys watch Miraculous, the Tales of Lady, or is that what it's called? Yeah, the Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir. That's a very good series. I thought about doing a gotcha on that. I can't animate worth a darn. I wish I could, because originally I wanted to animate this series. Oh, thank you, Nicole. Yeah, Miraculous is a really good series. Actually, I think that series starts up again in about a month. I know in other countries, Miraculous starts April 13th. I don't know if that's the same here in the States or not, but I've seen like 4 or 5 trailers for it, and it looks so good. I cannot wait for that series to start on TV again. So we're going. Oh, it's a good show. It's a good show, Sonic Plush. It is really good. It's a really good series. So what did you guys think of the episode overall? I mean, I know it was a little more dark. I don't know. The end was dark, but it was a lot of drama. Lot happened in it. Again, I want to start. I really got to start including Pinkie Pie more. I feel bad that I keep neglecting Pinkie Pie. I thought about that the other day too. I go, I didn't put Pinkie Pie in this episode. I meant to, but never did. Mainly because I can't. Pinkie Pie is one of those voices I can't voice very well, and I don't have Allie here enough to have her voice Pinkie Pie for me. Well, the other thing I wanted to mention too is I'm about to start working a second job, so like the production of this series is going to take a hit. Like it's going to take a lot longer for me to put these out, just because I'm doing about on average 12 hours a day at my main job, and then I'm looking to work overnights and then go straight to my main job after I get off work. So like at least 3 nights a week I'm going to be working after I get off my main job. So like the production of this series is going to slow down tremendously. It's not going to end by any means. It's just going to take me a little longer to post episodes and write them, and I'm probably going to be I'm already exhausted most of the time just doing my one job, but you know, life happens and you got to survive. So, you know, I got to work 2 jobs. Unfortunately, not happy about it, but you got to do what you got to do. So diving back into the episode, so we see Nightmare Moon. After the opening credits, we go back to Europony where Fidget and Nightshade are kind of having a conversation about things, and then Nightmare Moon and Dark Swirl appear. And basically, Dark Swirl wants her. She wants Nightshade's decision right away, and of course, Nightshade's like, "Well, yeah, of course, I will be your slave. Whatever. I don't want to die, and I'm not going to try to pretend that I'm stronger than you." But you know, Nightshade basically knew that he was going to have to join Dark Swirl at least temporarily until he can think of something. And you'll see. There's a very Elijah, poor Senpai. Yeah, Senpai, I feel so bad for him. How did Fidget get in here? I didn't know you invited him. Well, I really didn't. Fidget's kind of always around. If Elijah's here, Fidget's usually around. Let's just put it that way. Fidget and Elijah are like connected at the hip. Isn't that right, Elijah? You and well, yeah, you Fidget and Nightshade are like buds. We have a lot of role playing discussions, and he like Nightshade is just as confused as you are. Like, well, he's really unaware as to like what he forgets in Tartarus going forward, but I know that is driving you nuts. I know that part of the storyline is driving you nuts, Elijah. But you're gonna see this. It's like when it actually happens, and I reveal that little Easter egg, it's gonna kick you right in the rear end, and you'll be like, "It was right there, and I missed it." Like, oh, Elijah, you crack me up, dude. So, so basically, Nightshade tells Dark Swirl, you know, you're so, you know, why are you celebrating? You didn't really kill, so you killed Sonic, but they kind of revived him back to life. And, you know, Dark Swirl being distracted with teleportating and really just celebrating in her own mind, didn't realize that, hey, Sonic was revived. She doesn't really worry too much about it. We then see her put a spell and use her magic to turn the element of magic into the element of dark magic. All 6 elements of harmony are going to be affected by that. Mainly Sonic. Sonic is the one that's going to be most affected because it's his element. And basically what's going on now is Sonic's negative emotions. He's getting the negative emotions from the element of dark magic. Thus, when the element of magic is filling him with rage and whatnot, he projects it outward, and then it gives more power to the element of dark magic. And when the element of dark magic is fully powered by his negative emotions, then he will go to your opponent to claim it because it will call to him. The element of dark magic will call to him, and he will eventually go and claim his prize, as we found out from Dark Squirrel. Nicole Kalla asks, Twilight, are you still worried about the baby being King Sombra's? Not really. I just have this thought that Shadow is going to be the father of the baby. I've been thinking about it, and like I just have good feelings about it. I don't think that Sombra is. Things always seem to work out between me and Shadow, so I'm going to keep a positive outlook. And in actuality, I'm 4.5 months pregnant. I'm gonna have to like schedule a doctor's appointment pretty soon to learn the gender of the baby. Oh, sorry, my phone went off. So yeah, that's coming up within the next few episodes. I don't know if I'm gonna see. Here's the thing. I think for the rest of this storyline, I think a month is gonna pass, but between now and the conclusion. So at Twilight, I think by the end of the saga, it's probably gonna be about 5 months pregnant, maybe 6. I don't know time wise how long is going to elapse before now and then, but I pretty much the next time Twilight sees her doctor, which is Dr. Horse, she'll be able to get the gender of the baby. So the next time she sees her doctor, the gender will be revealed. So, and I'm not spoiling that one. I already know what it's going to be, but yeah, I'm going to save that for the episode. I already have a name picked out for her too, so I just got to find, I got to find, well, the thing is, it's so hard finding artwork. It's hard finding artwork for like, and that I would need like an infant, a picture of an infant pony. So it's going to be hard to find. I wish I could draw, because if I could draw, I would just draw it myself. I mean, I could use speed paint to do it, but I have no clue how to use speed paint. So as the episode rolls on, I'm trying to remember what happens. After that, after Dark Swirl turns the element of magic and the element of dark magic, we then go to Princess Celestia's castle, Canterlot Castle, where she is just infuriated and basically wants to know why Sonic and Knuckles went against her and defied her order and released Dark Swirl. And they basically tell her, look, Luna came to us and said, your life is at risk, as is Rainbow Dash's, so Sonic was triggered by Luna when she mentioned Rainbow Dash being isolated. So, again, Sonic apologized to Princess Celestia saying, look, I didn't know that Dark Swirl, it's kind of hard to do this in my own voice. He kind of said, I didn't realize that she was playing me and, basically pretending to be weak so I would release her. I didn't know, he legitimately thought he was more powerful. So he didn't hesitate. He didn't feel right we saw in the mid-season finale, he kind of was hesitant, kind of like, I don't like this plan very much, but I know I feel like I can beat her. So yeah, let's go ahead and do it. And again, like he said, you triggered me when you mentioned Rainbow Dash. So Rainbow Dash's motivation for his part in Dark Swirl's release, Knuckles basically was just being an ass because he doesn't ever take orders from Celestia. He feels that Twilight is the rightful ruler of Equestria. And if you guys forget about that little tidbit of information, you'd have to go, if you remember season 1, where Applejack put the element of element of honesty into the slot on the Master Emerald Temple, she got those visions of Twilight being the ruler of Equestria because she would essentially become the goddess of harmony and chaos. So Twilight would essentially rule Equestria. So that's why Knuckles listens more to Twilight than he does Celestia, because Twilight is the prophetic ruler of Equestria, according to Knuckles. So he is always more apt to listen to Twilight than Celestia anyway. And I don't necessarily remember the dialogue, but I know Knuckles was not happy how Celestia like hid the truth of the pony's origins from Mobius. I know that never sat well with Knuckles, so he just never respects her wishes. So to Knuckles, it was just kind of like, well, yeah, Sonic can beat her, so I'll release her. And we learned that was a critical mistake. And as that scene rolled on, the tensions got higher and higher because Shadow brought up the fact that, Nightshade might be the best option to retrieve the element of magic. We could get it back because he's not really serving Dark Swirl to help Dark Swirl. He's serving Dark Swirl to save his own life, basically, because he knows he can't defeat Nightmare. He knows he can't defeat Dark Swirl in his current state. He has to absorb Will's and Sonia's powers to be able to beat her. So because she is a demigod and all. So so that's why Shadow mentions Nightshade, and it set Celestia off even further. And it, Twilight, again, as we would learn later on in the episode, Twilight, like Sonic, is also being affected by the negative magic, the negative emotions that the dark element of dark magic is bringing. So she is also falling under the evil of that because she still kept half of her element of magic power. How I came up with that, there was an episode in My Little Pony where Twilight transfers. I think it was in season 9. I think it was like the 3rd episode where the student 6 create the new Tree of Harmony. They created the new Tree of Harmony, and I think shortly after that, it was either the episode before that or the episode after, where Twilight transfers that rainbow beam to the student 6. So that's how I came up with the concept of Twilight being able to transfer element of magic powers to Sonic. Excuse me. So that's how that came about. So after that scene ends, Celestia gets irate with Twilight because she basically is defending Nightshade. She's not necessarily agreeing with what Nightshade did, but it sets Celestia off because Celestia said, look, I've always been honest with Nightshade. I never gave Nightshade any reason to think I was in love with him. Yes, I tried. I kissed him. But I was very honest with him, and she's told Twilight this a couple times. Look, I told him right after the kiss that I didn't feel anything. Regardless, it broke Nightshade's heart, and that's what allowed him to, kind of snap and go into that fit of rage that led to the slaughter of 8 ponies who were trying to protect Celestia. So after that, Celestia kicks every pony in Mobian out of her castle because she's that angry about it and just doesn't want to have to defend herself anymore. We go outside of Canterlot Castle, and Sonic. Elijah comments, Twilight is just being understanding of both sides of the story. That is very true. As the Princess of Friendship, that is kind of true because it's my duty as the Princess of Friendship to see all sides of every story, because if you're going to settle a friendship problem, you kind of have to listen to all sides of the stories. So, yeah, I agree with Twilight on that. Twilight is definitely hit the nail on the head. So we go into more of that. Sonic then apologizes to Twilight. And so Twilight, now being affected by the element of dark magic, completely goes off on Sonic, calling him a failure, and that she regrets giving him the ability to use the element of magic. She really didn't mean to say that. It's the influence of the element of dark magic that allowed her to go off on that tangent. And then, of course, we saw Sonic retaliate with some harsh words where he couldn't control his mouth, and he accused Twilight of being knocked up by Sombra. And that pissed off Shadow. And then, yes, it did piss me off. That he's so disrespectful sometimes. This is now twice already. Within the last couple of episodes, Sonic has negatively said bad things about Twilight. This is not the first time he's done it. It just upsets me when he does. It's just not right, because I could still be the father, Sonic. Losing my voice again. Well, that goes back to what I was saying earlier, Shadow. I truly do believe you're the father. Everything works out for us. It always does. Like, 2 evil spells, you were under Chrysalis' spell, my love for you saved you, and then when I was under Sombra's spell, your love saved me. So things always work out. Well, that is very true. I think Twilight. Oh, Elijah puts, thank Celestia, you're protective of your wife, Shadow. I will always protect Twilight, no matter what. I love her to death. There's never been a being I've loved more than Twilight. Maybe other than Maria, but, Twilight actually reminds me a lot of Maria. She's very compassionate and very caring of every being alive. She tries to see the good in everybody. She tries to help. I'm getting comments too at the bottom. So if I'm looking away from the camera, there's comments. My phone's going ballistic. Sorry, guys. I know my boyfriend is on his way here. I should probably. Oh, sorry, guys. Yeah. But again, the negative energy that the dark element of dark magic is giving off is affecting Twilight and Sonic. We didn't realize that until we get further on along in the episode. So after that, I think Nightmare Moon and Fidget had a little bit of a moment where they're becoming friends. And I actually want to get your guys' thoughts about Nightmare Moon and Fidget before I delve into anything. What do you guys think of Nightmare Moon and Fidget? I think they're kind of cute together in a way. With Nightmare Moon, every once in a while, I'm going to have this conflict with her where she kind of slides back into Luna mode. And we saw that with the pancakes, where they're eating pancakes in this episode. And she's like, I have no idea why. Nightmare Moon says, I have no idea why I love these pancakes so much. That's one of Luna's favorite things, is she eats blueberry pancakes every morning. So during this whole saga, every once in a while, we're going to get glimpses of Luna. Luna comes through every once in a great while through the darkness that is Nightmare Moon. And that's kind of why she befriends Fidget. And Fidget's very nice to her, as we see. So basically, they have a dinner together, and then we go into the train sequence. Sorry, guys, I'm texting my significant other. So the train sequence is kind of a big sequence too. It starts off with Twilight and Applejack talking. Applejack sees that Twilight is overthinking and is a little upset and distraught. I wasn't. I was distraught in that scene. The thing was I was trying to find Sonic. I was trying to sense his powers because it was of the utmost importance that I found him, because I had to tell him, like, look, I sensed something was off with the element of magic. Like, there's something wrong. So I was trying to sense his powers, and I wasn't having any luck. And I forget that now that Sonic is capable of possessing his alicorn abilities, he can now teleport. So I was really hoping Rainbow Dash could find him, but I'm hoping she can, because I got to talk to Sonic into giving up his powers. He has to, otherwise he's going to become a huge threat to Equestria. So, like, okay, Twilight. So, what does the Tree of Harmony? How is that going to help? Like, how is the Tree of Harmony going to help you? Well, basically, what it'll do is if I transfer what's left of my powers into the Tree of Harmony, it will keep my power safe from evil. It's the same with all the elements of harmony. I'm gonna have to convince the girls to give me their elements so we can put it into the Tree of Harmony to protect them from perhaps being corrupted from the element of dark magic. Well, that's a good point. I mean, yeah, I mean that's a possibility. The other thing is, so I'm trying to remember where we left off. So Twilight and Applejack are having their discussion, and Blaze comes up, and they're trying to discuss like what would be the best option to defeat Dark Swirl at this point. Like, what's the best option? And Blaze's name comes up. Like, hey, look, Applejack said, she did absorb those things called the Soul Emeralds. Maybe if those combined with all 7 Chaos Emeralds, Blaze could have some pretty serious power there. And that remains to be seen if that's the route in which I go. But I would think that if Blaze at this point, after absorbing all of the powers of the Soul Emeralds, I would think if she absorbed, all 7 Chaos Emeralds, I would think her power would be insane. I don't know your guys' opinion on that, but I would assume her power would just be off the charts insane. I don't know if it can rival the power of a demigod, but I honestly think that would be a hell of a fight. Like chaos and fire blaze. That would be chaos and burning blaze. Chaos burning blaze. That would be insane. Nicole types in, it's cute Fidget and Nightmare Moon have a bit of a crush on each other. Yes. I think it is cute. And like I said, what's going to fuel that is, every once in a while, again, Luna every once in a while is going to shine through the Nightmare Moon. And the more we see her and Fidget connect, the more we're going to start seeing a soft side of Nightmare Moon. Like I said, I think I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned this on Discord or in general, but I remember publicly stating that throughout all the darkness that's going to be what's left of this season, the one positive thing that happens during all of this is Fidget and Nightmare Moon. Fidget has a way of bringing out a softer side of Nightmare Moon. And to see how that's going to impact things moving down the line for the rest of the season, it's important. What Fidget is doing is actually quite important because it is going to play a factor. It is going to play a factor in the remaining of season 3. I wouldn't be doing that I wouldn't be having that as a storyline if it wasn't going to have some sort of an impact. But it does. It will have some sort of an impact on Nightmare Moon. And we saw it in this episode. Nightmare Moon is completely different around Fidget when she's around even Dark Swirl. She's more Nightmare Moon when she's around Dark Swirl, Nightshade, and Sonic. But when she's around Fidget, she's more like Luna, where she kind of just lets her guard down. The other thing that intrigues Nightmare Moon with Fidget is she sees that some pony actually appreciates the night, whereas Nightmare Moon had it in her head that no pony appreciated her nights. So to see Fidget, admiring the night, it kind of like softened Nightmare Moon a little bit. Like, oh, there are ponies out there who do enjoy the night. And Fidget made a lot of good points to her. Like, look, ponies rely on the night to sleep, as do humans. I used to work midnights, and I will tell you, trying to sleep during the day is not easy because a lot of times you'll catch a second wind. It's kind of hard to sleep when you have, even with black curtains, it's hard to sleep during the day because the sun gives off some kind of thing where it just naturally wants to keep you awake. That a lot of times the weather's nicer during the day and you just want to enjoy the weather or you want to go run errands. So it's always tougher to sleep through the day. But so that's why Fidget tells her, your nighttime serve a purpose. Without the night, you ponies basically wouldn't be able to sleep. So that kind of gave, Nightmare Moon in the actual My Little Pony series never had that perspective. She always viewed it as, more selfish, like, oh, all the ponies enjoy Celestia's daylight, but they don't enjoy my beautiful evenings. And she never had that perspective that Fidget gave her. Like, no, the night is important because you got to sleep. Sonic Plus. Sorry, this isn't related to Harmony and Chaos, but I sent you the first chapter of my series on Discord if you want to check it out. Oh, nice. Yeah, I will. I know you sent me lines for Twilight and Rainbow Dash. I lost the lines for Twilight. Those disappeared off of Discord. And the lines for Rainbow Dash were very blurry, so I couldn't really read them. When do you need those lines by, since you asked? You just go ahead and type it in, Sonic. Plush. Go ahead and type. When do you need those lines by? I also want to wait till my voice is better because I'm still, my voice is about 60%. I got my voice back about 60%. I would say when I was actually voicing the episode, I couldn't voice. It was weird because I could not voice Rainbow Dash, but yet my Fidget sounds like Rainbow Dash. I don't know what happened there, but there was 2 days there where I had about 30% of my voice. And Fidget requires a little bit more of a higher pitched, and I couldn't hit that octave. Okay, yeah, I can get that done for you. Okay, yeah, mid-April's fine. Yeah, I can get it done. Just resend me. Yeah, okay. So you sent me the episode on Discord. I'll have to look. I'll look at it for sure. I'll definitely look at it because what other characters do you need me to voice, Plush? I know I'm doing Rainbow Dash and Twilight. I wasn't sure if there was anything else. So yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll get those voices to you. I know I'll be working on Will Atkinson series at that point as well. I can't wait for him to redo that. I'm wondering if Will Atkinson is going to change anything from his original plots. I wonder if he actually saved all of his transcripts for that series, or if he's going to change stuff. I'm wondering. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to voicing that too. Let's see. I'm trying to remember where we were. Where did we leave off? So we were on the train. That's right, the train sequence. So Rarity then after Applejack, after Applejack and Twilight decide they're going to go talk to Blaze. Oh, Elijah. Attaboy, Fidget. You have a way with words. Yes, he certainly does. Fidget does not get enough credit for being intelligent. Fidget is incredibly intelligent. He's a historian. He ran a museum. He's the caretaker of Nightshade's castle. I mean, he knows all of Equestria's history, basically. So yeah, he just has a way of bringing out. There's something about Fidget too. Like Fidget has a way of bringing out everybody's good side. I don't know what it is. Like what Nightshade was supposed to be this big evil, demigod of power, and somehow Fidget's able to kind of like make him into his friend, a loyal friend, and I really have enjoyed how Fidget and Nightshade have how their relationship has progressed. How it went from Nightshade kind of pushing him around at first, basically forcing him into being his servants, to then essentially entrusting him and just becoming friends. Oh, thanks, Sonic Plush. Thank you. Let's see. I'll look right now. Sorry, I'm signing on the Discord. Plush. Oh, how you doing? We're being joined by Walful Gosling. He says, "Hello, good sir. How are you doing tonight? How are you there, Gosling? Did you enjoy the episode?" All right, Plush. I'm going on to Discord right now to check out the lines. I don't know why this is not. Hey, come on. Would help if I typed in the right password. Oh, yes, that's much clearer. That is a lot more clear. Yeah, I can read that, Plush. You're good. We're being joined now by Sondash Studios. That's all right. I kind of took my time starting it. I wanted to start it like 10 minutes earlier, but yeah, it took me a little longer setting this thing up for the live stream. So where were we? We were left off. Oh, okay. So Twilight and Applejack are now talking with Blaze and Rarity, and the Shadows trying to fill Twilight in about Blaze, and then Rarity comes over and interrupts everything and asks for Silver's attention, and Silver goes with her or goes with Rarity, and that's when Blaze finds out that Silver is still technically engaged to Rarity. She's taken aback by it at first, um, and she's gonna ask actually in the next episode, like, why didn't you tell me that you were engaged? And Silver's gonna basically tell her, look, I was going to tell you, but then we got distracted by Sonic's fight with Dark Swirl, so I never got around to it. That's basically what he's gonna say. Sorry, guys. So after that, Silver and Rarity have their breakup scene, and I like a couple of you. I know some of you were a little upset. It was sad seeing Silver and Rarity come to an official end, but I think it had to be done, and I think it made sense why. Because you go back to season one, Silver was very depressed when he first came to Equestria. And the reason he was depressed was because of Blaze. He was in love with Blaze when he came onto the series, and he never addressed that with Blaze directly. So Silver, thinking he was never going to see Blaze again, decided to fall in love with Rarity, and their love was real. They definitely did fall in love. Silver wasn't lying to Rarity when he said that. Like, it was just one of those. It was that perfect storm where you had the whole fashion show fiasco where Capper touches Rarity, Silver retaliates by thinking, oh, some random dude is touching my fiance. What the hell? So he goes off and defends her honor and punches Capper, and it causes a scene backstage. Kind of gives Rarity a bad reputation because here's her boyfriend beating up on another designer, and it just didn't look good. So that's why Rarity kind of called him a brute. And of course, no one wants to be called a brute when they're defending their fiance's honor. So, Silver even said, look, if we were really in love, things never would have gone that far. You never would have kicked me out. I never would have walked out on the show on you. You wouldn't have called me a brute. And, I think that had Blaze not shown up, there would have been a chance for Silver and Rarity to reconcile. But having Blaze there that was Silver's first love. When we again go back to season 1, he's upset. He's depressed and angry that he's stuck in Equestria. He doesn't want to necessarily be there. He wanted to be with Blaze. But as time, went on, Silver became okay with being in Equestria. But then when Blaze shows up, all of his emotions come back for Blaze, all of his feelings. And like I said, it was just that perfect storm where you had that fight with Rarity and Silver, where she kicked him out. They got into it. It was just that perfect storm that allowed Blaze, and perfect timing on Blaze's part. Sonic Plush writes, the only brute I know is from Monstrum. Sorry, continue. Oh, that's. But no, so that's basically what's going on with that love triangle. It was just a perfect storm that developed between Rarity and Silver, and then Blaze showing up. It was, like you said, the perfect storm. And basically, you're gonna have Sylvaze versus Silverity. Like I said, now my big debate with Rarity is who ships with next. I will say it's going to be depending on who she ships with. If it's Capper, it's going to be slower. If it's Spike, it's going to happen a little more quick. Sandash Studios comments, having Silver break up with Rarity sounds like a sad yet very interesting take, and it makes so much sense. Yeah, like I said, when you call your fiance a brute when he's defending your honor, and then he runs out, first and secondly, when he ran out of the fashion show, it cost Rarity big time, because she developed a very expensive line tailor-made for Silver to show off the style, to show off the clothes. And then Knuckles tried to fill in, and as we all know, Silver's a little taller than Knuckles, so the clothes didn't fit him as well as they did Silver. So the image of Rarity's line wasn't visually appealing to the ponies in the audience watching the fashion show. So Silver essentially, ditching Rarity at the fashion show, it actually hurt her credibility. It hurt her image. It hurt her. It's not going to crush her. It's not going to crush her business by any means, but it definitely it did not help in the reviews of the Silver line. So again, it's just one of those things where you just have that perfect combination of things happening. And it's like Silver said, look, if we were really in love, we shouldn't allow things to get this far. Like, you wouldn't have kicked me out. And he's like, and even Silver said, look, I've tried I've tried talking to you multiple times, and you don't want to talk about it. That was during the mid-season finale where Silver was trying to get Rarity to talk, and she basically told him to pack your things and get out. So, you can't blame Silver for moving on, especially with Blaze. Blaze being somebody he's been in love with for a long time. Blaze was the one who came out with her feelings for Silver, so Silver naturally just reciprocated. And so then the rest is history there. So after that, I'm trying to remember the sequence of events. I think we go back to Europony, and it's now morning. Again, it's just more Fidget and Nightmare Moon kind of talking and getting to know each other more, and building their relationship. And then, of course, Nightshade and Dark Swirl then come down, and it was again another funny sequence with Nightshade. I don't know, like Nightshade, he's got a purpose for the remainder of the season, but I don't know, like the things between him and Fidget lately have just been so funny. I laughed so hard when he was kind of like prodding Fidget, like, "Oh, you got a crush on Nightmare Moon," all that stuff. Yeah, it was it was pretty funny. It's their chemistry. Fidget Fidget and Nightshade, I did not know how well I was going to write those two together. Again, Nightshade, Fidget, and Will Atkinson are all characters of Will Atkinson. Um, I got permission to use them. I basically have enhanced their characters. I've enhanced those characters, but it's the natural chemistry between Fidget and Nightshade is really just amazing. And it oftentimes just leads to some of the funnier moments of an episode. Um, we have a comment from Sondash Studios. While I can definitely congratulate you on this choice, and I bet a lot of thought went into it, I wish you the best on the continuation of the series. Thank you, Sondash Studios. I also wish you the best of luck with your series. And if you need help, just let me know. Just let me know if you need me to voice anything. I will voice. Sondash Studios, if you guys don't know who or what they do, they also have a Sonic MLP series, and it is amazing. Amazing. I think it's the Adventures of Sonic and Equestria, if I'm not mistaken. Is that what it's called? I think that's what it's called. But that is Sondash Studios. You see it right down there in the chat. He writes an amazing series. That series is awesome. I love it. I'm thinking I'm thinking he was thinking about toying with the notion of making that an animated series. So I'm interested to see like how that turns out. But Sondash, I love your series. Yeah, I can't wait to see what you do with yours. I cannot wait. I really did enjoy the first episode of the second season, by the way. I really did. So yeah. There really are. We were talking about this the other night about how there's just so many good Sonic MLP series you can choose from. I really do think it's only a matter of time before this Sonic MLP thing becomes a real series on television. If you remember on Pony Life, Rainbow Dash drinks the potion and she legitimately physically turns into Sonic. Like her mane turns into Sonic's quills and she actually speeds off running versus flying. Oh, you're welcome, Sondash. But yeah, I really do think, talking with Sondash Studios the other day, we were discussing this again. I think it's only a matter of time. IDW owns the rights to Sonic and MLP for the comic books, so they could easily cross it over in the comic book world. We've already seen it on TV with Hasbro legitimately giving Rainbow Dash Sonic's features after drinking that potion. So they're definitely aware of this fandom, of this crossover fandom. Whether or not it actually happens on a real TV series is yet to be seen. I think it will. I keep thinking it will happen, just because there's been so many references to it, and yeah, they know about it. Believe me. You go on the fanfic site where you can read all the fanfics. If you go on cartoons and then go over to crossover, the number one crossover is My Little Pony and Sonic the Hedgehog. That is the number one cartoon crossover in all of fanfic. There's over 1,000. By far the most popular fanfic crossover of any cartoon. So they are definitely aware with all the artwork videos, with all the YouTube series, with all the fanfic stuff out there. It is definitely known that this is definitely a fandom, and whether or not either Sega or Hasbro decides to pull the trigger and do it, it remains to be seen. But I think, excuse me, still, sorry, I'm still fighting that cold, and that's kind of like what caused me to have raspy. Oh, I'm tired too. But if they're going to do this the right way, like if this ever does happen and they do come out with a Sonic MLP series, they have to do it with Generation 4 and not Generation 5 or anything like that. It has to be with these characters: Twilight, Rainbow Dash, Fluttershy, Pinkie Pie. It has to be with those characters because the basis of this Sonic MLP crossover is with those characters. That is, they're just so compatible. And when you think about it, it's like even the shipping. The shipping is essential. You have to have the shipping because that's what draws you into the story. Because it's like, oh my God, Sonic and Rainbow Dash. They're as compatible as apples to apples or apples to caramel. Same thing with Applejack and Knuckles. That they're both very honest and loyal, and they fight to the end to protect the ones they love. Again, that's another great pairing. Twilight and Shadow. Holy crap! You want to talk about a couple that has chemistry? Shadow and Twilight. The chemistry between them in my series alone is unbelievable. Just what Shadow. There's not a thing Shadow would not do for Twilight. There's nothing. There's not a thing he would not do for his princess. They're with the exception of Rainbow Dash, I love Sonic and or with the exception of Sean Dash, I do like Twilight and Shadow. Absolutely, I think they're a power couple. Let's see. We have some comments come through. We had some, Sonic Plush also thinks that the crossover is going to happen. Oh my God, Plush! Now that you mentioned Transformers and MLP, I was at GameStop probably right during the Christmas holidays. I actually saw an Optimus Prime, but in I think it was called Optim or Twilight Prime or something like that, and it was like Twilight in Optimus form or something. It was Optimus Prime, but in pony form, which was just freaking awesome. It was definitely at a GameStop where I saw Optimus Prime as a pony. That was just awesome. So yeah, because that makes sense because Hasbro does own Transformers as well. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if this ever does become a real crossover. Dash is the best ship, and nothing can change my mind. I definitely agree with you on that. They are my favorite. They are my favorite couple as well. Yeah, I like Dash is probably my favorite. Out of all of them. Although not a distant second is Twilight and Shadow. But they're both very different relationships too, if you think about it. Just Shadow and Twilight. Shadow is just so protective of her, loves her to death. Obviously, Sonic and Rainbow Dash love each other to death too, but their relationship is more joking around. They're more lovey-dovey. Whereas Shadow and Twilight, yes, they're lovey-dovey, but at the same time, they're very serious with each other. They have a lot of serious. They can go from talking about Equestria safety to bringing it back to their relationship, in an instant. It doesn't matter what they talk about. They just seem to have that chemistry, and it really is amazing. Let's see. So let's just go straight to the end now. So now we're going to get to the final couple sequences where we then see Twilight. Now we mentioned Twilight and Shadow. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, now that we mentioned Twilight and Shadow, they have that balcony sequence where Twilight says, hey, I've been keeping a secret from you. I kept half the powers of the element of magic as a failsafe in case anything were to happen to Sonic. Then I still have my powers, and my powers would essentially not die with Sonic. So that's when she tells Shadow, hey, look, the element of magic has been corrupted. There's something wrong with it. There's a darkness in it. I can sense it. And Twilight basically tells Shadow, look, I can beat this. All I have to do is, I got to keep my power safe. If I transfer my powers to the Tree of Harmony, I cannot be corrupted. because again, the powers are linked to the holder. So with Twilight and Sonic essentially still being linked to the element of magic, they are linked directly to the element of dark magic as well. So yeah, as Twilight basically tells Shadow, hey, I got to go to the Tree of Harmony and transfer what's left of my powers to the Tree of Harmony so it stays protected and I don't get turned evil. After that, we saw Applejack and Knuckles have their fight. Basically, Applejack is just infuriated. She's the element of honesty, and she just felt like Knuckles not being upfront and telling her about it was a form of dishonesty. And we know how Applejack feels about when you lie to her. When you don't lie to the element of honesty. And the fact that Knuckles was very sneaky and didn't include her in the decision-making process. It's like Applejack said, look, there's no way any of us would have allowed you to release her. And you know that. Then that's why it felt like you just went behind my back. You should have told me. And what pisses Applejack off even more is the fact that he did this. They released Dark Swirl at the Master Emerald Temple. Where does the Master Emerald Temple sit in this series? It sits in Sweet Apple Acres. So here you are releasing a chaos demigod of nightmares into Sweet Apple Acres, where Applejack's family is. So, of course, she's pissed that they just didn't care about Apple Bloom, Granny Smith. They didn't care about Sugar Belle or Big Mac. They just released her, and we actually saw it in the mid-season finale where Dark Swirl freaking fired an energy blast at Applejack's farmhouse. And then, Sonic went to intercept it and got punched into the blast, and that's, so essentially Sonic salvaged the farmhouse, but, again, that Applejack saw, she saw that what could have happened, like, just seeing Sonic and Dark Swirl fight at Sweet Apple Acres did damage to Sweet Apple Acres. So, yeah, of course it pissed off Applejack, and I can't blame him. You can't blame her for being mad there. And the other part of it, too, is, again, that darkness of the element of dark magic having that influence. See, because what's happening with Fluttershy's element of harmony is happening to all of them. They're all turning discolored. So they're all kind of being affected emotionally by this. Rarity, I will say this. Moving forward, you're going to see Rarity. Rarity is going to develop some resentment. And again, it's the influence. It's her being influenced by the element of dark magic. So she becomes very jealous, very angry, and very resentful of Blaze. So we'll see how that plays out in the upcoming episodes. Now we have the final scene of the episode. And it's one I've never, as I was writing it, I thought it was really, really dark. And I think a lot of it has to do with the pictures. But I had to put myself in a very dark place to write that sequence, to come up with the right pictures for it. And it was a lot. Yeah, that was something. Again, by the thought process behind Nightmare Moon attacking Sonic in the Dream Realm, it's to further weaken Sonic's mental stability. It's exactly so. And like you even heard Sonic tell Nightmare Moon, "Look, I'm not going to be broken by nightmares like you." So basically, what he told Nightmare Moon was, "Look, I'm not going to allow myself to be broken down mentally by nightmares like you did, Luna, to become Nightmare Moon. You allowed Dark Swirl to break you down, with nightmares. You're not going to do the same thing to me." Well, he couldn't be more wrong. So that's why we're seeing, Nightmare Moon attack Sonic in the dreams, in the dream realm, because it's going to break Sonic down more, a little bit quicker. So that's why she's doing that. And wait till Dark, there's going to come a point where, Dark Swirl's even going to get in on it with Sonic. So I was trying to poison Sorry, I heard a car horn going off. Um, so again, they're gonna try to break Sonic down using the dream realm and giving him horrific images, and we saw that in the nightmare with EXE/Evil Sonic, or whatever you want to call him. I'm not going to call him EXE Sonic. I'm just going to call him Evil Sonic, or just Sonic. That's just who Sonic is going to be now, uh, is that. So in an attempt to get him to get to that point, they're trying to push, the dark images, the nightmares, trying to break him down mentally. And we see it already had an effect by the end of the episode. Sonic is in tears. He's begging for help, but nobody's around him. And that's basically where the episode ends. It's just the imagery of Sonic being broken down mentally. And the quicker they break him down mentally, the more powerful the element of dark magic becomes, thus making Sonic's transformation even quicker. And that's where that whole thing is going. Elijah Dodorich asks, Twilight, do you think that Sonic's mind will prevent him from following through with your suggestion? Well, I think it could, but at the same time, I don't know where he is. Like, none of us can sense him. I'm really hoping Rainbow Dash found him, but we won't know until the upcoming episodes. I know I'm going to urge the girls to put their elements of magic into the Tree of Harmony to protect them from falling under any more corruption. Um, Nicole puts, I was speechless by the end. Yes, like I said, I had to go into a pretty dark place to write that ending. I had to put myself in a pretty dark mindset. Again, it sounded like when I was writing it, it seemed worse than it was when I voiced it. Um, but it is pretty gruesome and grim when you think about like what they're actually doing to Sonic, like breaking anybody down mentally with nightmares, and forcing them to see horrific images. Yeah, it is kind of dark, but again, it's how Sonic's going to be corrupted. And um yeah, I this is one of my favorite episodes, to be honest with you. It's definitely in the top 3 for me. I The thing is I procrastinated so bad with it. Like, I wanted to like legitimately take 2 months off instead of like 2.5. But yeah, I waited too long to get the episode done. I actually started writing the episode back in January, but then I went through writer's block, and I couldn't get the Nightmare Moon Dark Swirl, when they first appeared. I couldn't get that scene right. So I actually had the episode 2/3 of the way done originally, like in February. And then I scrapped like a third of that and went back and redid it because I wasn't happy on how I did things. Like, I'm like, it didn't turn out the way I envisioned it. And it wasn't until I actually, put myself mentally back into harmony and chaos, then it started rolling. And this is one of the better episodes I've come up with, I think, as far as like dialogue and story, plot lines. I thought, yeah, it turned out the way I wanted it to, for sure. I know it took me a while to get into the flow of this episode, but once I did, it just started rolling. Priscilla Vasquez asks, will there be more episodes? Absolutely, there will be more episodes. There's a lot more episodes coming. A lot. Hundreds. Probably hundreds. Yeah, this is probably, realistically, if I'm going to guess at how many episodes this series could be, probably 200 to 300 episodes, maybe. I don't know. It might shrink a little now, if I have Eggman come early. Um, we'll see. We'll see. There's only so many Eggman attacks you can write before it gets stale. Oh my gosh. I'm really tired. I'm so sorry, guys. Oh, 10:30. Oh, yeah. I get up for work at 2 in the morning every day, so I'm just fried. And I've had what, this week alone, I had 4 12 plus hour days just doing one job. And getting up at 2 in the morning, it just fries you. So now I'm looking at working a second job too. So to go back to Priscilla's question, there will be more episodes. It's just going to be very slowly done. Yes, and by slow, he means it's probably going to take 2 or 3 months per episode. He gets his kids every other weekend, and then he slacks. Honestly, he can't even get through a wrestling match without passing out on the couch. It's true. Shadows speaks the truth. I pass out halfway through AEW Dynamite. So anytime I get on the couch, like I will pass out eating dinner on the couch at like 8 o'clock at night. And I'm like, well, so much for typing for an hour. So honestly, I have not had Harmony and Chaos has been the bane. It's been work and Harmony and Chaos. That's all I've done for the last 2 weeks is work and Harmony and Chaos. Just getting this episode out. And again, with me going to 2 jobs, it's gonna slow the process down, but know that I'm not giving up on the series. I love writing it, and I intend to get through the entire series. But oh wow, I'm really tired. Well, you're pregnant, Twilight. Of course you're tired. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night for now because I am just done. I'm done. Anyway, any last minute questions? I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It was freaking it like watching it back. I'm just like, wow, that was insane. Elijah, is Dark Swirl trying to mess with you too? Absolutely, absolutely. Except Dark Swirl is my boss. Well, I probably shouldn't have said that. Mm, yeah. All right, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off for the night. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the episode. Um, Again, more Harmony and Chaos to come. It's gonna take a while, but just know that I'm working on it. I'm definitely not giving up on the series, and I'm gonna continue doing it, guys. Sonic Plush. I have to say, I have to say is that I'm working on a second crossover series that is MLP, but not Sonic. Huh. Well, that'll be interesting. That'll be interesting for sure. All right, guys. I'm sick of yawning on a live stream. But I'm going to go ahead and sign off, guys. Have a great weekend. Thank you so much for joining me tonight and for watching the premiere episode, episode 81. It's good to have more episodes back on. Again, I'm going to try to pump these out as quickly as possible. I don't know when the next episode is coming out, but I'm going to get to work on it, sometime this week. Oh, thank you, Elijah. Oh, God. You put best of luck to you, Fidgets. I gotta get into. I'm trying to get into fidget mode now. Why, thank you, Mr. Dodowich. Best of luck to you as well. I need it because, listening, just knowing that Senpai is with that evil witch. It's disgusting. At least I have Nightmare Moon. All right, guys. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next time.